This video follows on from the previously covered content on physiological adaptations of pregnancy. It focuses on the metabolic changes that occur. If we understand these adaptations, we are better able to understand the changing nutritional requirements that are necessary for optimal maternal and fetal health. Metabolic adaptations involve coordinated changes of carbohydrate and lipid metabolism that preserve maternal homeostasis and allow timely transfer of nutrients to the fetus in order to optimally support growth and development. In the first half of pregnancy, the physiological adaptations of maternal metabolism prepare the body for the high demands of rapid fetal growth, which occur then in the second half of pregnancy. Therefore, we will begin by looking at changes in carbohydrate and lipid metabolism that take place in early pregnancy, and then discuss how these metabolic pathways differ from changes occurring in later pregnancy. In early pregnancy, insulin-secreting pancreatic beta cells become hyperplastic, resulting in increased insulin secretion. Insulin sensitivity is enhanced, and the nutrient-stimulated insulin response to oral glucose increases. At the same time, glucose tolerance is either normal or slightly improved, with peripheral sensitivity to insulin or hepatic basal glucose production remaining the same. Fasting plasma glucose levels are slightly reduced, with only small changes in insulin levels during the first trimester of pregnancy. Hence, the risk of hypoglycemia is increased in some women during this early stage of pregnancy. Changes in lipid metabolism are analogous to the alterations in carbohydrate metabolism. During the first and second trimester, increased estrogen, progesterone, and insulin concentrations favor lipodeposition, and they inhibit lipolysis, which results in an accumulation of maternal fat stores. This accumulation peaks between 10 and 13 weeks of gestation before the fetal demands for energy to support extensive growth in the last trimester increase significantly. The maternal energy requirements are thus mainly met by increased efficiency of glucose metabolism. Being in an anabolic state, excess glucose as well as dietary triglycerides are stored as adipose tissue. This maternal metabolic pattern changes during the second half of pregnancy. Since glucose is the preferred fuel to the fetus, a modest insulin resistant state develops. This leads to a mild elevation of maternal plasma glucose concentrations to facilitate diffusion across the placenta. Despite increasing basal and postprandial plasma insulin levels, the postprandial glucose concentrations are significantly elevated and the glucose peak is prolonged. The maternal insulin resistance begins to develop in the second trimester and it peaks in the third trimester. It is generated by the release of placental diabetogenic hormones, such as human placental lactogen, growth hormone, corticotropin-releasing hormone, human chorionic somatomamotropin, and progesterone. In late pregnancy, maternal metabolism shifts from an anabolic to a catabolic state, and it promotes the use of lipids as a maternal energy source while preserving glucose and amino acids for the fetus. This shift allows pregnant women to minimize protein catabolism and to preserve glucose as the main fuel for the fetus. Decreasing lipid uptake into adipose tissue through physiologically relative insulin resistance, reduced lipoprotein lipase, and increased lipolysis and mobilization of lipid stores results in a constant increase in triacylglycerols, non-esterified fatty acids, cholesterol, phospholipase, and lipoprotein concentrations in blood plasma until delivery. Adapting carbohydrate and lipid metabolism to the different stages of pregnancy ensures that the increased energy and nutrient requirements of the mother are met while providing the required nutrients for the fetus to ensure optimal growth and development. The previously explained adaptations involve fat deposition in the mother, usually around the breast and the buttock. These storages are beneficial to support maternal homeostasis and fetal growth during the third trimester, and they are also valuable as an energy resource during the ensuing period of lactation. However, excess depositions of fat may have adverse consequences for maternal and fetal health, which go beyond the pregnancy period, as explained by Professor Lucilla Poston, who is an expert in the field of maternal obesity.
Obesity is a problem for women even before they become pregnant. It's a problem in pregnancy, and actually it's a problem after pregnancy, because if they're thinking of becoming pregnant again and they put on weight, then that's a problem too. So if you're to say which is the best time to intervene, I don't think there is one. What we really need to do is think about intervening before people become pregnant, if they are obese, to try and make them thinner, during pregnancy to try and improve the outcome, and then after pregnancy to try and limit weight gain and weight retention. And if we get that overarching theme of intervention, we're likely to win.
Now that you have an idea on the physiological and metabolic changes that occur during pregnancy, let's look on how that translates into altered nutritional requirements.